Let's talk about my experience in having a male friend who sabotaged my connections with other men. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I'm a licensed therapist. I've been counseling women and men who have experienced abuse as well as those who have been perpetrators of abuse and other violent crimes. Um, I have a question from a commenter. I had written a post, or I had done a post where I had talked about, um, you know, um, having delayed reactions to trauma, and I talked about my experience with a male friend who sabotaged my relationships with other men. And this commenter asks, it's unfortunate that you experienced that. Do you think he was sabotaging your dating life because he was jealous and he wanted something more from you? This is a great question. So this guy he wasn't just sabotaging my dating life. I started to remember more actually after I was talking to you all about it. He was actually sabotaging a relationship that I had with any man. So whether it be friends, whether it be peers, co-workers, and things like that, he was sabotaging it with every man that I had come into contact with. And when I called him out on it, like I actually called him out on just the men that I was dating. And that's when he started to spill the beans. And there was a couple of things that I noticed when I confronted this man. One, he got loud with me, and I don't allow men to get loud with me or, yell or any of that kind of stuff. So that's an automatic removal from my life. Once you do that, there's no point of return. I don't care what it is. I don't care what the reason is. I don't care. What was I gonna say? He was, when I confronted him, I started to realize how sort of delusional he was, and it got me thinking wow, this person's really unstable. He had it fixated in his mind that I belonged to him, and that we belonged in a relationship together, and he wanted to sort of sabotage any sort of chance, any inkling that any man may have had. It doesn't matter the relationship. So that's why he was so adamant on destroying all the relationships with men, because he wanted to nix any chance that any man would have to like me, respect me, or whatever, because in his mind I belonged to him. He had known me, he had put in his work, so he thought he put his work in, so therefore I was rightfully his. I'm so sorry if this is loud. I'm kind of at the fish hatchery, and I'll try to show you guys a picture of the fish if I can. So in his mind, I belonged to him, and I needed to have a come to Jesus moment, and since I wasn't going to do it, he was going to do it for me. And so it actually, to me, it signified a level of delusion, but it also signified a level of dangerousness of this man, just how radical his thinking was. So I think he was jealous. He was jealous of me. He was jealous of attention that I would get from other men. But he was jealous of the potential, of the possibility, that any man could think highly of me and we could potentially have something on any level. And he, when I was actually with someone, he just was seething over that. And I didn't understand. When I woke up, so to speak, I got the full grasp. And maybe not. Maybe I still don't even have the full grasp, but I got enough of it to get the heck up out of there to know that this man was enraged with me, and we had never been anything more than friends. And he just, the more men that were in my life on any level, the angrier he got with me. And so when I confronted him about it, and he became explosive, right? And I didn't confront him in a bad way. I'm just dude, there's something seriously wrong with you. Being super jealous. What is that? I didn't appreciate how you've been talking. I'm talking to him just like I'm talking to you guys right now. Just blowing up. Okay. So as soon as he did that, I hung up the phone. Just click. I didn't even want to hear it. You know, and then that click and block. And, you know, there's nothing, I don't really need to talk about anything else after that. And so that's why, yeah, I definitely think he wanted something more with me, but he felt like it was more than he wanted something more than me. He felt like he was owed something more with me, like it was his right, his duty to have something more with me, and he was going to take that whether I wanted it or not. And this isn't somebody that I knew for like a month or two. This is somebody that I knew for years, probably at least 4 to 5 years. So for me, I've heard everything that I needed to hear. I've seen everything that I needed to see, and that was more than enough for me to move on. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. And so that's why it's one of many reasons why I get on here and tell you guys about red flags, you know, in friendships, you know, and beyond, is because even if you're a well-meaning person, you have a platonic relationship with someone, you know, and they can seem to be rational, they can seem to have rational conversation, and you could seem to have a platonic friendship, but in that other person's mind, there's a whole different narrative going on. This guy had a full active imagination, a very dark one, I might add, that you just never know what's going on. And this isn't to say everybody thinks this way. I'm certainly not trying to generalize it. I'm just sharing my experience. I wanted to give you guys a little view of the fish while I talk. So if you could look down, you could see the fish hatching in this little hatchery thing. This is so cool. But man, oh, Jesus Christ, he jumped. I'm gonna stay back. But man, it stinks out here. It smells like fish. But anyhow, you know, just use your discernment whenever you have male friends. You know, maintain your boundaries. And, you know, it's unfortunate. In my situation, this person had also worked with me. So he knew me on a friendship level and a personal level. So unfortunately, you know, there was just, like, there was too much contact, I think. And so he just had to go. But it's also like a lesson in, like, you know, once people, like, get out of pocket or talk out of turn, you don't really need to, like, hear the reasoning or rationale or have a long, heartfelt discussion and blah, blah, blah. You know, I think that first sign of disrespect, or that first sign of awareness of disrespect, is more than enough. Somebody else also asked me, like, oh, you know, people get upset when you finally have that awareness, and they feel a type of way when you want to act based on what you remember. And this was the same thing here. He got upset because, oh, we've been friends for so many years, and this is the first time you said anything and you've acted on anything. Well, yeah, that's my right to do so. And so you can make your decision at any time. I don't need to clear it with you because you're not a rational person, and you can't tell me what to do when it comes to me for myself. Yeah, so never let anybody... Ooh, these fish over here in this pond are active. I don't know if it comes across in the video, but they're like jumping up, and I think they're going to jump out, so I'm not going to talk over them too long. But never let anybody tell you, you know, what's good, what your timeline should be. It's your timeline, so, you know, do what you need to do. And jealousy is, you know, when a man becomes jealous of you, to me, that is a cancer in the relationship, and you have just got to cut that right on out, because once it infects the relationship and you start to see those dynamics, there is nothing that you could do to sort of talk it through or work it out. And that combined with delusion and entitlement, they've got to go. That is so dangerous. So I hope that helps. I hope you guys can hear me, and I hope that you enjoyed the little fish that I'm showing you in this hatchery that smells gross, but it's super cool. All right, take care.